Welcome! Today I thought I'd show you a quick little video on my Justice League collection. And ignore the background sound if you can hear any, it's just the neighbors. I love the Justice League figures from Hot Toys, and I had to have like the whole row of them all together in one shelf. And my Justice League is a little bit different from everyone else's, so let's go through this. So in the center you've got the Flash, because the whole multiverse revolves around the Flash, so it kind of makes sense. And then we've got our Henry Cavill Superman. I opted for the bright blue and red because I wanted it to match Supergirl and kind of be all together, and I actually really just prefer that version anyway because it's the traditional colors and it's the brightest version you can get. Supergirl looks fantastic, excellent figure. I definitely would recommend this figure, but the two of them together just look really cool. And then you've got Cyborg, really underrated figure, fantastic level of detail, looks very metallic. And I wasn't even on my radar at first, and then when I saw it in person I was like, wow, that is an amazing figure. And then we've got the Hot Toys Jason Momoa Aquaman, and I'll be honest, although I like the figure and the head sculpt isn't that bad, I don't know if you can see it on this camera, let me see if I can zoom in. The head sculpt isn't too bad, but it's the materials that the sort of clothing is made out of. It's not ideal. It looks very plasticky. It could just do with like a wash or a shine or something, but it's still a pretty cool figure, and I quite like the trident as well. So then coming over to the Flash, I mean, the Flash movie, people kind of really just love to hate that film, and it's an exceptionally good movie, very good time travel movie. I don't care what anyone says, it's one of my favorite DC movies, and I love this version of the Flash. I don't care what anyone says about actors or anything to do with the movie. You know, that film was made by hundreds of people, lots of artists, lots of professionals, and it was a great movie. And I thought the portrayal of the Flash in it was really good. So let's come over to Batman. And this is the Batfleck 2.0, which, as you know, is a just phenomenal figure, and I love having this in the collection. I wish I could just make him stand out and have a shelf of his own. This is the Wonder Woman that was from the Wonder Woman 89, was it, movie? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was the one I thought I preferred the head sculpt on and the coloring because it was brighter, and again that kind of red and blue matches the red and blue on Superman and Supergirl, so I wanted that kind of consistency. But I also think this is a great figure, great seamless joints. And then over to Orm, the Ocean Master. Now this is not Hot Toys, I forget what company made this, you'll have to look it up. Just type in Ocean Master 1/6 scale and you'll find it. But the details are really good on this, and the materials too, they're really high quality. You would think they were Hot Toys, and I actually think that this Orm is a much better figure than the Hot Toys Aquaman, although they do go really well together. But coming back to Batman, obviously it's a multiverse, so there's the Keaton Batman from the Flash movie, another exceptional figure. And then moving down to the shelf below, we've got some really cool figures. I'm just going to back up here. I'm not on a phone, I don't film on phones, I film on a camera. But you can see some really interesting ones. Let's start with Zod. So this is the amazing Hot Toys Zod. Another really underrated figure. I mean, DC figures are nowhere near as popular as Marvel ones when it comes to Hot Toys, but so a lot of these kind of fly under the radar a little bit. I did a video on this a while ago, so if you want to check that out, you can see some of the details. Black Adam, underrated movie, underrated character, and amazing figure. This figure, presence-wise, is very similar to Batfleck 2.0. Same with the materials and some of the details. It's a little bit bright there. But yeah, I think this is a great figure, and has some, this shelf presence with this I cannot explain. but I would definitely recommend this figure if you're on the fence about getting it. It's definitely worth seeing in person. And then one of my favorite figures, I'll just back up a little bit so you can see on the stand. I put him on the stand that came with Aquaman, but this is the Black Manta from the second Aquaman movie, which was really good, by the way. The first one was kind of not for me, but the second Aquaman movie is really good, and this is an excellent representation of this character. It's really cool. The eyes do light up. It's not plugged in right now. The light's just kind of refracting through it. But this is something that I think just nobody really cares about or has noticed. But if you see it in person, you'll be like, wow, actually that's a really cool figure. And then moving on to the Flash blue costume Batman. Another really underrated figure. Absolutely fantastic. I wanted to finish the Flash line because it's one of my favorite films. And this is just a fantastic figure. And I know people, it's very divisive because, let's face it, if you look at it from certain angles, you might think it looks unimpressive or not very appealing. But there's other angles where you're like, wow, this just looks amazing. And I think it's all down to how people present it in their videos, lighting and angles and details. But I mean, if you just look at it there, that's a pretty cool figure. Look at the details. I think that's just a wonderful figure, and it's very limited in number, but there are still a bunch out there because I think no one wants it, which is a crime because it's amazing. This is the Batfleck from The Flash. Another underrated figure. I got him a terrible pose here. It's really not showing it off. But I've actually put the faceplate from Batfleck 2.0 into this because he comes with multiple faceplates and they fit. So that's worth noting if you want to get this figure and you have Batfleck 2.0. I'm just going to turn his head so you can see him a little bit better. It's actually a really good figure, and I've terribly sort of posed him here so you can't really see, but that one is worth looking at if you like it. It's better than you probably think it is. So there you go, that's my Justice League, and I just wanted to make a really quick impromptu video just showing this off because I'm going to move these out of the cabinets. I got all my Lord of the Rings to go in here. But yeah, I think they're really cool. They're worth seeing, and thank you for watching.